This might be one of the best crayfish patterns out there for bass. The movement on this thing, especially underwater, is just unreal, and it's almost completely snag-free. Welcome back, McFly subscribers. Today we're tying the Crawl Daddy, and this was originally designed by Jake Villwock. What really sets this fly apart is how those claws stay kicked out, and the front end rides up just like a crayfish in a defensive stance. Now this keeps the hook up off the bottom, and because of that, it handles rocks, wood, and heavy cover no problem. So you can fish it where the bass hang out without fear of losing your fly. This is McFly Angler.
And it starts now.
Let's get started. Put the hook securely in your vise. For a hook, I'm using the Gamakatsu B10S in size 2, but any stinger style hook will work. What you're looking for is something with a relatively long shank and a bend that gradually comes down like this. And that bend will be important in a few of the steps. We will also need some thread, and today I'm using Viva 6/0 in brown. This is a round thread that is very strong for its thickness. By the way, I was able to snag you guys a discount with Vivas, and you can even get a free bobbin holder like this one. More on that later in the video. Okay, let's start our thread right behind the hook eye and snip or snap off the tag. Then bring your thread down deep into the hook bend. To make this a little easier, I'm going to rotate the hook down slightly. Now bring the thread back up to the start of the bend. We'll need some silly legs. Use any color you want, but today I'm using these barred orange. Pull one off the hank and fold it in half, then tie this in at the back of the hook with legs extending rearward, and wrap down into the bend to angle those legs downward, which will be up when the fly is swimming. Now for some crystal flash. I'm using gold. If you cut the corner off the package, it makes it a lot easier to grab a single strand like this. Cut it free and fold it in half. Tie this in at the rear of the fly the same way as the legs, but separate the strands slightly so that they sit on either side of the hook. The original pattern doesn't call for flash, but I like flies with a bit of flash, so I'm going to add it. Now trim the legs to about twice the hook shank length, and the flash to roughly half that. Now we need a dubbing brush, and I recently made a shorts tutorial on how to create these critter brushes, so if you make your own, check out that link below. Now tie in the orange brush right behind the legs and clip the tag. Then bend the wire back so you don't cut your thread, and wrap over it to cover that sharp edge. You can also buy these brushes if you don't want to make them, and they're similar to EP Woolly Critter brushes. Start wrapping the brush forward with touching wraps, stroking the fibers back with each turn. This builds up the rostrum and adds bulk near the head, which helps splay the claws out. Now I'm making 7 wraps here to really bulk this section up. Once you're there, capture the wire, trim it off, push the tag down, and wrap slightly over it. Then I like to pick this out a bit to release any trapped fibers, and then brushing it rearward and forward helps as well. Build up just a bit more thread on top of the brush, and now we can rotate the hook back to level. For claws, I will be using pine squirrel strips. I'm using the natural color, but something like a crayfish orange works well too. When you pull a strip from the package, it's usually a bit twisted, and if you pull on both ends, it'll straighten it out a bit. Measure out a piece about a hook shank length and cut it free, then cut a second piece the same length. We want these claws to splay out quite a bit, so we'll use a strip of foam to help with that. Cut a strip slightly wider than the squirrel strip, then cut 2 pieces about the same length as the claws. I'm using bright orange here, but use whatever color you want. Now it's not necessary, but I like to taper one end of each foam piece. Tie one piece in right behind the dubbing ball, angled downward, then tie the second piece on the opposite side at the same angle. Make a few additional wraps to secure both. Now it's a little easier to work with the squirrel if it's wet, so tie in the strips on top of the foam at the same point, one on each side. You can see how that foam helps push the claws outward. Now we're going to glue the claws to the foam, so run a small bead of super glue along the foam, then press the claws into place and hold for a second. And repeat on the other side. And the foam really keeps the claws splayed and adds a bit of a hot spot, and also helps keep the front of the fly up off the bottom. Now we'll add some eyes, and I recently did a shorts video on how to make these welded shrimp eyes, and link is below. You can also buy pre-made ones, but they can get expensive. Tie them in on top with the hook point up, and I like them extending just slightly past the back of the hook, and having them welded together really makes this much easier. Once they're secured, trim the excess mono, and clean up the area with some thread wraps. Now we'll use the darker brush from that tutorial and tie it in right behind the claws. Then bring your thread down about halfway down the hook shank, Wrap the brush forward with touching wraps, building up this section into a thick, bushy body, since crayfish are bulkier up towards the head than the tail. When you reach your thread, capture the wire, and this brush is fairly dense, so I'll use a bodkin to separate the fibers a bit so we can tie it in cleanly. Tie it in with the wire facing down while the hook point is up, and leave the tag for now. Pick it out and brush it through. And now for more silly legs. You can use the same color throughout, but I'm going to mix it up a bit. I'll be using 3 different styles. These root beer and orange tipped ones, some clear with fire tips, and finally the blue and pumpkin for the back. Grab 2 legs here, and I'm going to use the pumpkin and orange. Separate one leg, wrap it around the back of the thread and align the tips, then pin it to the side of the fly and secure it. Trim them slightly shorter than the front legs, and repeat on the other side. Now for the carapace. We'll use rabbit fur. Here I have some black barred brown strips, but use whatever color you prefer. And the original actually used olive. Align the tips and cut a clump free, and we'll need quite a bit more. So I'll wet the tips to keep them together and add another clump. Then a third to really bulk this section up. Even out the butt ends, but keep the tips as long as possible. Tie this in on top, covering the hook point with the tips. Make a few tight wraps so it won't be pulled out. Then use your thumb to spread it across the top. Clean up the area with some thread wraps and bring your thread forward just behind the eye. And you can add a drop of glue here if you'd like to keep the rabbit fur in place. Now finish wrapping that brush forward to your thread, capture it, trim it, and wrap over the tag. Then pick and brush it out. Add the hot tipped legs on each side, then trim them so just a bit of color shows, and each set of legs should get progressively shorter towards the rear. Now add another clump of rabbit fur on top, but use a bit less this time. Spread it slightly, but not as wide as the first section. Trim the waist, clean up the head, and whip finish. Now we should apply some head cement, and I like Solarez ultra thin resin because of the built-in brush. Brush it on and cure it with the UV light, and it hardens instantly for a durable finish. Now remove the front section from the vise, and take a look at that. Those claws are splayed out nicely, and the movement from the legs looks great. Now for the rear section, we'll use the 60-degree shanks from Spawn fly fishing. Place the shank in the vise with the bend up, then attach the front section with the hook point facing up. I like using those small twist ties from fly line packaging to hold it out of the way. Start your thread near the bend, trim the tag, and build a small thread base above and below the bend, and then end right at the bend and rotate the fly. For weight, I'm going to be using lead dumbbells painted black. Now the original uses tungsten football beads, but I don't have any, and this will work fine. Tie them in with X-wraps and under wraps, and then move your thread slightly back, and add a bit of that Solarez Ultra Thin to lock them in place. Wrap forward to close the shank and build up the loops, and if your thread wants to slip, just work it up and down a few times to build a base. Now tie in the brush again, and bring your thread to just shy of the dumbbell eyes. Now you can wrap this section a little more open, as we don't need as much bulk here. Once you reach your thread, capture it, trim it, and secure it. Now we need to brush it out. This tool will also do a good job of picking fibers free if you prefer, rather than using a bodkin and brushing it out. Now add a small clump of rabbit fur. We're using less each time. Fan it out slightly, but keep it tighter than before. Add your final legs, in this case the blue and pumpkin, place them and trim them so just a bit of blue shows at the tips, and repeat on the other side. Now create a dubbing loop, and bring your thread up over the eyes. Add a dubbing twister, and now for the loop material. I'm using pine squirrel strips and a Pedagene clip system. You can also use a foam block and a chip clip if you don't have the Pedagene clips, but since I do, I'll go ahead and use them. Cut the hide away, leaving just the fur, and place the fur into the loop and spread it out slightly. Pinch the loop, spin the twister, and when you let go, it'll form a brush. Keep spinning until it's tight, and then wrap forward to the eyes. Pull the fibers back, wrap the loop thread behind the eyes a few times, and then capture the loop thread. Trim the tag, bring your thread forward, whip finish, cement, and brush it out. And the fly is now finished. I can't tell you how good this fly looks underwater, and I don't have any footage of it, but I have fished it quite a bit and it moves really well. You can swim it steadily, and the front section will move and wiggle. Short strips give it a nice jigging motion, like a fleeing crayfish. When you pause, it'll sink to the bottom, but a lot slower than you'd expect, even with that weight, because of the foam claws. The front settles last with the claws up, and that's often when the fish hit it. A few subtle twitches will bring it to life, and the rubber legs and claws move and pulse along the bottom. On quicker strips, the claws compress slightly and then spring back, which adds a really nice natural look. And once wet, the profile really starts to look like a crayfish. Now, to be honest, this pattern does take some time to tie, but it's absolutely worth it. Just make sure you fish it on a heavier tippet so you don't lose it. Alright, I'm 4 patterns into this crayfish series now, with a mix of flies that vary in difficulty, size, and how they fish. I started things off with a super simple crayfish pattern that I just call the simple crayfish. Then I tied up the mini jig crayfish, which mimics more of a crayfish nymph, great for fishing in the spring and early summer, right after the crayfish hatch. Next was the near enough crawdad, which has some really great looking claws, and it's just one of those flies that fish don't seem to pass up. And of course this week, the crawdaddy. And like you saw, it's one of the more unique and lifelike crayfish patterns out there. By the way, those fly boxes you saw earlier, I do sell them. They're double-sided with plenty of room for even bigger streamers. They've got a strong magnetic clasp that snaps shut when you drop them, which is nice. And they're made entirely of foam so they float. This means if you do drop it in the water, you're not going to lose your whole box. I've also got some other fly boxes and hats available as well, and every purchase helps support this channel so I can keep making videos like this. I'll have a link to my Amazon storefront down in the description if you want to check them out. And as promised, here is that Vivas deal. Their VIP program is $99, and that gets you 10% off of everything, a $120 gift card, and a free shirt. And if you use my link below, they'll throw in a bobbin holder as well. Or if you don't want the VIP, you can still get 10% off just by clicking the link. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you liked the video, click the like button and share it with your fishing buddies. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.